What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's the end of another glorious week. That is correct. You know what? I'm messing up. Good thing nobody's on yet, so I can do this. Had the wrong mic connected. I'm messing up today. I guess I was really excited to get on here and do some speaking. Do a little bit of a weekend review. A lot of stuff has gone on the past couple weeks. I already spoke Monday about the whole racism thing. I said it was going to be the last time I talked about it. It's probably a lie. I'm not going to lie again. It's most likely going to come up again. But in this particular episode, I want to talk a little bit about the situation as a whole. What I'm seeing is a lot of people getting canceled, a lot of people getting pressured to do things that they don't necessarily agree with, but they're doing it anyway. You've got folks that made statements in the past, wholeheartedly apologizing, and this is crazy because these are folks that are actually supporting the movement, if you will, and left-leaning, righteous individuals that have been on board since day one, and they're still getting pressured to do stuff. They're still getting canceled, which I find crazy. That the world is coming to this point. Now, do I think that it's all stemming from, historical racism? I don't. I think it has to do with opportunity. The individuals that perpetrated most of this, and I don't know who they are. All I know is they have a lot of money. There's a lot of rumors as to who it is, and it is what it is. But I will say this: the protests for George Floyd have nothing to do with what's going on right now, in my opinion, at all. This is one of those things where folks jumped on the opportunity to get a message that they've been trying to get across for, I guess, years. At least that's what it seems like. Which, okay, fine. You want to get your message across, that's perfectly fine. But now you've got people ripping down statues. Again, this is not the first time it's happened. People going after, changing base names, military bases, and all this other stuff. And it's funny because I see friends of mine on social media that have been preaching for years that we need to tell history how it is, and we need to, let it, put the truth out there. Cool. Like I agree. We should do that. But what I'm seeing is actually a movement to either erase or replace certain histories in this country. We can't erase what we've done in the past. It happened, and there's nothing we can do about that. All we can do is move forward and hope it never happens again. But the problem is we keep dwelling on the past. Now, if I had a client came up to me and they kept bringing up, stuff from the past as a reason why they are the way they are and why they can't go further, I would tell them, well, stop dwelling on the past. If you stay in the past, that's where you will continue to live. Now, if you look at the past as a place that you've been, a place that has molded you into the person that you are, and realize that it has nothing to do with your future, your actions have everything to do with your future. Your decisions have everything to do with your future. Then you will live a much happier life. But if we think about everything that we're talking about today, what are we talking about? Are we talking about racism in America today? Or are we talking about racism in America in the past? And the majority of the conversations that I've heard, they always bring up the past and try to correlate it to things that are happening today. Now, don't get me wrong, there's certain things that they have a lot of good points. I'm like, okay, I can see where you could think that is a thing. But if you look hard enough, and it's hard because if you think about who owns everything right now, it's not very unbiased. It's very one-sided, and that's just a fact. You have to be willing to do the work, and the entities that be, the powers that be, know that most people aren't willing to do the work, so they bury it. Me, I do the work. I mean, I've got a lot of intelligent friends who bring up some good points, and then I go and look at those points, and if it's either I agree or disagree. It's not. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying I don't agree with their assertion that things that happened in Jim Crow and slavery and the civil rights movement are correlated to today. Because again, there's so many things going on today to propel the minority races. Um, Black, Hispanic, Asian. As a matter of fact, Asian, like they let's be honest, they're killing it when it comes to education, when it comes to STEM, business, the whole nine. Their culture is success. That's the only way I can put it. Now, I, I personally think that if we want the Black community to be as successful as any other community, um, yes, I think education is key, but defunding the cops to do so would be at the detriment of the community, in my opinion. Because where they're trying to defund cops or where cops are mostly needed. Places like, I lived right next to, East St. Louis, very violent location. I actually met with the chief of police and a bunch of their cops, and I've heard the horror stories about that area. Um, Chicago. That's always going to be a topic of violence, and when it comes to minority, crimes or minority discussion. When we start talking about black on black crime, the folks that are screaming, police brutality and racism don't want to hear that. And they say, well, that's just an excuse. You're deflecting from the real issue. Well, no, that, like I'm telling you right now, this whole thing with Black Lives Matter, I get it. And some of the things that, when it first came out, I didn't agree with it. I thought it was very one sided. I thought it was, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was racist itself. Now, the way they painted it when this first thing started, if they had started that way, i.e., I think it was, we understand that all lives matter. We're not saying that they don't. Right now, we're just concerned about Black lives. Now, that sounds way better than the assertions that they were making when the movement came about. But I will say that I don't agree with, I still don't support it. I don't agree with it. I don't like the leader. He seems kind of, how can I put it? He's made statements that he thinks he's the savior. And of course, having white people surround him and other black people and wash their feet and kneel before him, and that's not fighting racism. I don't know what that is, to be honest with you. I can't get on board with that. It just seems like, I don't know. It just seems crazy to me. So I say all that just to say, you know, we need to move forward. I don't think we will anytime soon because we keep trying to correlate things that happened in the past to today. And I think it's funny when people do that. They say, they're killing black men by the number. They're attacking us. They're after us. We're oppressed. And I kind of giggle because most of these individuals are saying we're oppressed and they're spouting off this hatred, this vitriol for the government on a public social media network. So you can't be that oppressed. I mean, and a lot of these people that I know, I mean, I don't know anybody that is living bad. All my friends are very successful, of all races. They're very successful in what they took on as an endeavor. I got folks that are traveling the world. I got others that are teaching. I got others that own businesses. I got others that work as first responders. I got others that are working at banks. You name it, I know these individuals of all minority races and white people. But I don't know any unsuccessful minorities. Is that weird? The premise that racism is systemic these days doesn't jive with what I know. So why wouldn't I fight against that? I don't correlate things that happened in the 60s, even in the 70s, in the 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s, all the way back down to slavery. I don't correlate it to today. What I do know is that me, being a half black, half Latino man in America, I know racism exists, but I don't assume everything that happens to me that is bad is based on the color of my skin. You know, I mean, I've bought and owned four homes, bought and sold four homes. Don't get me wrong, I was a typical minority. My credit was shit at first, and then I worked on it, and it came up. Now I've got great credit, you know. And yeah, some of you might say it's because I'm married to a white lady, but is it? Maybe a little bit. But the point is if we put our minds to it and we really think about everything and stop using other things as an excuse, we can move forward. And that's the truth. And I just want to. So this is another book I'm reading, and I know that you guys are gonna love it once I get to the book review. I lost my spot. Hang on. There's a quote in here that I wanted to read for everybody, and I think it hits home to today. All right. Some of you are going to be pissed off about what I'm saying. Maybe not. Maybe you're just going to disagree, which I'm okay with. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying you're wrong. But I'm going to tell you how I feel about it. So here it is. And this is from the book Unfuck Yourself, Get Out of Your Head and Into Your Life by Gary John Bishop. And I'll do a full review probably next week. It's a pretty good book. I'm almost done with it. So stop blaming luck. Stop blaming other people. Stop pointing to outside influences or circumstances. Stop blaming your childhood or neighborhood. And that whole section, that whole chapter that he's talking about is literally everything that you do in life and decide to do in life is on you. It's nobody else's fault. Right? Which is why all this pressure to donate to the movement, to accept the movement, to understand the movement, to shout out, yes, I support this movement, I think is along, I can't do it. Has nothing to do with me. Honestly, I don't believe in that particular thing. And again, some people are not going to like that. But I wholeheartedly feel that if we keep living in the past, we're destined to repeat it. Except this time, I think it's going to be in reverse. Because who's getting catered to right now? It's not the Mexicans. It's not the Puerto Ricans, the Colombians. It's not the Asians. It's not the Iraqis that came here, as refugees. It's not the Somalians. No, it is the Black Americans born and raised in the U.S. that are being catered to. That as soon as they shout racist, people bow down and like, whoa, 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 whoa. No, that's not what I meant. Let me take that back. Let me apologize. Pay attention. Like, that's what's happening. And if you can't be true to yourself, I'm sorry. Like, I can't get on board with that. So that's all I was gonna say. It's been a crazy week. It's been a crazy couple weeks. I said I wasn't going to talk about that particular topic again. Apparently, I'm a liar, which I can admit. This is a very heated thing going on right now, and I don't agree with all of it. And I will say this. Everybody look up the Seattle issue, and I think it's very hilarious. Now, I don't know what movement they were with. I want to say that they were all a part of disbanding the police, getting rid of the police force, and then some dude walks in and says, all right, I'm in charge. We're the new police. What? I thought you didn't want police. It makes no sense. Logic has left the building on that one. But anyway, I thought it was hilarious. A buddy of mine had a whole string of posts that had me dying. I was rolling. So yeah, but I encourage everyone to think for yourself, be yourself, and don't do anything that you are not actually on board with. Don't be forced to do anything you don't want to do. All right? If your friends are threatening to unfriend you, so be it. They weren't really your friends. I got a bunch of friends that I disagree with every day, but we've got history, and I will never unfriend them, and I'm pretty sure they will never unfriend me. And we don't agree on anything except for like one or two things. But if they're saying unfriend me, or if they try to unfriend you, then let them go. Move on. It's time for some new friends that either think like you or understand that you're not going to agree on everything. And I'm thankful that I've got friends that way. So y'all take it easy. Enjoy your weekend. I don't know what the weather's like in your area, but the weather here is awesome. I cannot complain about it. Knock on wood. Hopefully it's not going to rain this weekend, because just got the mountain bikes and we've been hitting the road every day for the past 11 days. and loving it. So get out, get some fresh air, step away from Facebook. I'm going to try to do the same thing. I know it's probably not going to work, but find something to occupy your time. All right. Y'all take it easy.